Hello students, this is our next chapter on understanding Ambedkar, that is on Ambedkar's idea on citizenship, right? After this lecture, I'll upload two more lectures on Hindi. One is on Ambedkar's idea on democracy and another one is Ambedkar's idea on citizenship, that is our chapter 4 for Hindi medium students, right? So here we will discuss the Ambedkar's notion of citizenship. What was his idea, and that is the end of our lecture or syllabus rather. Now see, if we see citizenship, then what is citizenship and how one should define the idea of citizenship and all these things, right? So citizenship is something which is where a person is recognized under the custom or law as being a legal member of sovereign state or belonging to a nation or nation state, right? And we know the meaning of nation and nation state, and state we have discussed in our class. Now, the idea of citizenship has been defined as the capacity of individual to defend their rights in front of the government or any sovereign authority. It may be something else if not government, right? So citizenship is something where an individual claims his or her right before a sovereign nation, right? And in response, that particular sovereign nation identifies its citizens, right, and gives the citizenship rights, or the concept of citizenship evolves. Now, individual states and nation recognize citizenship of person according to their own policies, regulations, and criteria as to who is entitled to be its citizen. Okay, it is up to the government or nation state. Now, this is a basic definition of citizenship, and there is a fabulous reading by Professor Anupama Roy. If you want, you can have that reading or read that reading for to understand, to have a better notion of citizenship in larger perspective. And somehow we have discussed Anupama Roy's notion of citizenship in our regular classes during before this lockdown period. Okay, if you remember. Now I'll upload, or if you say, I'll send you the reading. Okay. Now see, what is the idea of citizenship by Ambedkar, given by Ambedkar? One. Second is, who should be the citizen according to Ambedkar? That we are going to discuss here after discussing the definition of citizenship, right? Here we have to go slightly beyond, or the history of the entire history of the Dalit struggle, okay, and Ambedkar's struggle for emancipation of Dalits, and so on and so forth. So here we have to discuss that during the parliamentary debates, right, before independence in 1918 to 1919, and Ambedkar's stand on that particular committee. That committee is known as South Borough Committee. Okay. Now Ambedkar was called upon to give evidence to the South Borough Committee on franchisee, okay, which was set up to look into designing a system of representation for the Indian Dominion. Now that South Borough Committee was mainly constituted to define who should vote and who should not. Okay, and what should be the criteria for the franchise. And Ambedkar was its member from 1918 to 1919. Now, it is all this South Borough Committee is also known as Franchise Committee. It was one of the various committees which was formed by Britishers during their colonial regime in India, and it was started in 1918 and ended in 1919. Okay. Now, the committee was chaired by Francis Hopwood Fast. Okay. He was a British civil servant. Now, if we read the article, okay, one is for citizenship, you may like to read on Rupma Roy, and for this particular South Borough Committee and Ambedkar's stand and so on and so forth, there is a good article written by Professor Vidyut Chakravarti. I'll give you the description of that article, okay, in comment section. You can access it. Okay. Now, the title of that article is B.R. Ambedkar and the History of Constitutionalizing India. Now, what Chakravarti is saying, Professor Chakravarti is saying in this article, now see, he is saying that Ambedkar is known as the protagonist of social justice. He is regarded, okay. But equally important was his role in constitutionalizing India, okay. That was evident in 1919 in this particular South Borough Committee on franchising. Next, he defended compensatory discrimination for untouchables. Unlike Gandhi, okay, Gandhi was in favor of equalizing or maintaining equality in the society without having any protective discrimination or affirmative action and so on and so forth. Ambedkar was in that sense when he talks about compensatory discrimination for the untouchables in that South Borough Committee and in 1930 London Roundtable Conference, when he talks about this compensatory discrimination for the untouchables, right? He was actually following his teacher in Columbia, John Davy, okay, from whom he studied the principles of liberalism, right? See, Dr. Ambedkar sought to transform society through politics, which to him meant for the consolidation of constitutional values, constitutional morality. Okay, just like we have discussed in our democracy wala this thing lecture. Okay, so here also we can say that constitutional morality and constitutional law was in the mind and heart of the ideas of Ambedkar or in the Ambedkar's soul. Now see, on the basis of this argument or on the basis of this idea of Ambedkar, we can say that Ambedkar always defended constitutional protection for compensatory discrimination, showing the analytical basis of social justice. Okay, so these two aspects where Ambedkar put more emphasis. One is compensatory discrimination and second is social justice. Okay, so he because of these constitutional moralities and constitutional values, he actually laid the foundation of a unique moral and political framework for public reasoning, a contribution that has been adequately recognized in contemporary scholarship on Dalits. Okay. Now, whatever the idea we have in contemporary society, or we can say various movements, Dalit movements, or we have seen Bahujan Samaj Party, and so on and so forth in India, these political parties or these values are always inspired or got their ideological this thing structure or ideological background from Ambedkar's notion of constitutional morality and constitutional values. Okay, that is why we have seen Kashiram doing various things for Dalits in India, for their political emancipation, for their social emancipation, for their economic emancipation, and so on and so forth. All these ideas was properly written and given by Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Now, this is something which was quite different from, if you see my earlier lecture on nationalism, part 1 and 2, that is in English, that social reform proposed by Ambedkar was quite different from the discussion between Charles Trevelyan and Lord Macaulay. So he introduced a new kind of social reform in India, which was emancipation of Dalit through constitutional values and constitutional morality. And that was something where he got success as well. Okay. Now, in this committee, which we are discussing here, South Borough Committee, Ambedkar submitted his report, okay, in 1919. And what is the crux of that report? If we try to discuss here, he says that since he is talking about constitutional morality and values, and his focus is on emancipation of Dalits or untouchables or SC/ST communities of India, so he was of the view that protective discrimination or there must be, as Professor Chakravarti is saying, compensatory discrimination for untouchables. Here he tries to build up his idea on citizenship, okay, through this South Borough Committee. Please keep this in mind, the compensatory discrimination for the untouchables, which today we may call it protective discrimination. Okay. Now, because of all these things, his focus was entirely on what should be the status of Dalit as an Indian individual. Okay, whether Dalit would be given right to life, right to liberty, right to equality, right to justice, and so on and so forth, and whether Dalit would be allowed in social gathering, in temples, in educational institutions without facing any discrimination, whether they should be given the equal citizenship right or not. That was his main concern, and that is why in this final report submitted to South Borough Committee, he says few points. Okay, number one, citizenship is a bundle of rights. Citizenship is nothing but a bundle of rights. What are that? Number one, personal liberty. Number two, personal security. Number three, right to hold private property. Number four, equality before law. Number five, liberty of conscience. Number six, freedom of opinion and speech. Number seven, right of assembly. Number 8, right of representation in a country's government. And number 9, right to hold office under the state. So here in these 9 rights, what he is trying to give maximum space to the untouchables to maintain equality among unequal. See, it is, we can say that we are here to maintain equality. Okay, but the bigger question is how to maintain equality among unequals, because each and every one of us is highly unequal. No one is equal in any society. And in such a society where Ambedkar was seeing, okay, that society was highly unequal, and it was a big challenge to maintain or to make equality among unequals. That is why he proposed 9 different rights to be a respected, or to be a respected citizen of India, not merely the citizen of India. Okay, the respected citizen is more important. Okay, why? Because equality should be maintained. That was his idea. Now, Ambedkar runs together rights that are presently in part 3 of our constitution. Maybe property, right to property might have been removed, but 2 others rights are there. Number 1, right to representation, and number 2, right to office. There is no discrimination as far as constitution and constitutional values are concerned. We must also notice that civil rights, here Ambedkar refers to the prohibition of access to public spaces such as roads, where generally lower caste people are denied access. Okay, so access to public spaces should be counted as civil rights according to Ambedkar. Representation and office, obviously, and political rights. Okay, right to vote, right to contest election, right to be the member of legislative council or gram panchayat or municipal corporation, or you can say member of parliament. Okay, anything. Political rights include various things. Now, Ambedkar goes on to say that the right of representation and the right to hold office under the state are the 2 most important rights that make up citizenship. Okay, so for Ambedkar, the right of representation, if you give the right of representation to its citizen, and the right to hold office under the state, if you give, okay, then only we can say that someone is a citizen, a pure citizen of particular country. If these 2 rights are denied, then the basic right to be a citizen is denied. So his entire focus on citizenship is of citizenship on the right of representation and the right to hold office under the state. That is 2 most important rights for the emancipation of Dalits and to be a respected citizen of nation. Okay. Now Ambedkar representation, see, there are various claims, various ideas and various thoughts here, but if we try to understand this part 3 on the ground, that then we can conclude that it is true that representation and occupying a state office are the fundamental structuring principles of citizenship in any republican democracy. Okay, the state's attempt to deprive a section of populace, okay, from exercising those rights must be scrutinized carefully by the judiciary, said by Ambedkar. If any issue is found in while providing these two rights, then judiciary must intervene. In that case, citizenship rights is guaranteed. Otherwise, we are just claiming that we have given or we have identified our citizen and we have given so rights, but that right may not be enjoyed by vast majority of the population because of their educational backwardness, because of their social backwardness, because of their political backwardness, okay, because of their economic backwardness. Ambedkar's entire notion, Ambedkar's entire idea is on the two concepts. One is political representation, another one is, we have just discussed, state office. Okay, so from these two rights, one can claim the respected or respectful citizenship right. So for him, giving citizenship right is not that much important, but giving a proper citizenship right where every individual, okay, should achieve what he or she desire or aim, makes citizenship right or make the idea of citizenship more inclusive. And we must have such type of ideas in our discourse on citizenship in India. That is his idea on citizenship. Okay, he simply talks, he simply say that if we achieve this model or if we achieve this citizenship, then he talks that such type of citizens are model citizens, okay, who are abided by the law of the land and who are free to perform their duty by respecting the liberty, rights, okay, of other individuals and by knowing their own duties. So that was his idea of citizenship, and this idea, if we see it minutely, is more inclusive in nature, and that idea you can find in our constitution part 3 or para 3 of our constitution. So that was his idea of citizenship. Next, we will talk about Ambedkar's idea of democracy and Ambedkar's idea of citizenship for Hindi medium students. Okay, thank you very much.